Today I am going to talk on Alagadupama Sutta, which you find in Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 22. This sutta is very profound, very meaningful sutta that we all have to remember the sutta. The message the Buddha has delivered in the sutta is a very profound message. Sutta begins with Arita, a monk who was formerly a vulture killer. Later he became a monk. But he held a view. He taught what the Buddha taught as detrimental, harmful, obstructive for the attainment of liberation was not necessarily obstructive. Then several monks tried to persuade him not to believe in that. They said, don't misrepresent the Buddha. Buddha did not say that. But Arita did not accept their advice. He refused to accept their advice and he continued to repeat it. These monks repeated it several times not to misrepresent the Buddha. But he continued doing that. Then Buddha called him and reprimanded him. And he said, where have you heard me saying that whatever is obstructive is not necessarily obstructive? In fact, he was challenging the Buddha. Buddha has given certain things which are harmful and detrimental to our spiritual progress. It is so dangerous that eventually at the end of this discourse, Buddha even introduced a new rule which you find in Vinaya Pitaka under 92 rules, rule number 68. Misrepresenting the Buddha is an offense. So he committed this offense. Then Buddha gave a list of obstructive things. Among many of them, many obstructive things, is 5 hindrances. Number one of them is desire. And he gave many similes, examples to explain the danger, detrimental effect on our spiritual growth if we do not give up the desire. Since my time is very short, I am not going to enumerate all this list. So, he compared this to catching a snake. Misrepresenting the Buddha, misinterpreting the Buddha, misunderstanding the Buddha, holding wrong views, compared to catching a poisonous snake. Why people catch poisonous snake? Not to play with them. They may catch a poisonous snake for 2 reasons perhaps. One, the main reason perhaps is to extract poison for them to use as medicine. Not the whole dose of poison, but very tiny little of it mixed with other things to cure diseases. Second reason perhaps to play them, to show off in public, to make money. And similarly, if we learn Dhamma, we have to have a purpose of learning Dhamma. The purpose, what kind of Dhamma? There are 9 Dhammas Buddha has listed in the discourse. They are called Navanga Sattu Sasana. And why we learn the Dhamma? If we learn it correctly, it's all right. Similar, just like when we catch the snake properly, then we can use the snake to extract his poison. Buddha gave a way of catching the snake. If you catch him by tail, he will turn around and bite you and cause you a grave sickness, or you may die. Similarly, if you learn the Dhamma, these 9 limbs of Dhamma, with the wrong intention, what is the wrong intention? To show off, to argue, to be very proud, even to sell. You can sell the Dhamma very well when you learn and make money. If you learn the Dhamma for these reasons, then it is very, very dangerous. Just like catching the snake in a wrong place. So, when the snake bites you, it will kill you, or that may be only one life. You cannot contaminate other people by snake poison. So it is not comparatively dangerous, but not as dangerous as misunderstanding the Dhamma. When you misunderstand Dhamma, you can poison the mind of millions of people and cause them suffering not only in this life, even in future lives, in samsara. If you remember all the wars in the world, religious wars, political wars, economic wars, and so forth, all these wars have killed millions and billions of people because of the wrong view. Similarly, wrong view is so dangerous. Then you learn the Dhamma for good reason. What is the good reason? To liberate yourself. What is the Dhamma you learn? The Noble Eightfold Path. In the 9 limbs of Dhamma, plus Noble Eightfold Path, you learn to liberate yourself. Not to show off, not to misunderstand, not misrepresent, not to make money. However, when you learn Dhamma, you have to learn it properly, thoroughly. You listen, remember, investigate, put it into practice. When you put it into practice, you can use the Dhamma just like a raft. Why you want to use a raft? You use a raft to cross a huge body of water. When you want to cross a body of water using a raft, you just don't hold it casually. And also you just don't jump into a raft and simply stay there. You use your hands and legs. You use the raft just to float in the water, so that by using your hands and legs you can swim across the water very quickly, safely, and go to the other side. But at the same time, you must remember, when you hold onto a raft, you must hold it onto very, very firmly, steadily. Similarly, when you learn Dhamma, we put all your heart and mind and will and desire to learn Dhamma. Not learn it casually, superficially. Learning Dhamma even superficially, even more dangerous, because you will not understand it properly. You simply will show off, and that is another reason for misunderstanding, misrepresenting the Dhamma. When you don't understand Dhamma properly, you easily can use the Dhamma just to get away with anything you want. You become complacent. You will not put it into practice. You will not teach it properly. Even if you teach, you will teach superficially and you will mislead people. So when you learn the Dhamma, teach the Dhamma, you must do it properly, correctly. Just like holding the raft when you cross the body of water. However, when you use the raft to cross the body of water, you should not become attached to the raft. You should let go of the raft. Normally, in order to show your gratitude to the raft, if you carry it on your shoulder, you are not doing proper job. And also, if you have a slightest scruple of desire to hold on to raft, you have not liberated yourself from suffering using the Dhamma properly. That's all I can do today, and thank you very much for your patient listening.